Some people are naturally gifted at helping others, enabling them to get things off the ground. And when somebody says, gosh, we should do this, there are people that naturally go, yep, count me in. What do you need me to do? They will help you on your terms because they actually get joy and energy from seeing other people's ideas and other people's activities, helping them get them done. And it's not because they're nice, and it's not because they're easily convinced of something. It's an absolute gift, and we know that because there are people that cannot do it. And these are some of the most valuable people in an organization on a team. Oftentimes they downplay their gift because they think it's easy. But in fact, enablement, I have an organization that I help run that had no enablement in it. And people are like, why do we have great ideas and people get excited and then it doesn't happen? It's like, because nobody wants to come along and help.
And bring it to life and make it happen.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I'll lift. I will volunteer my time and energy to do what you need to get this going.
Right.
We love these people, but we don't necessarily think of it as a genius, but it absolutely is.
Well, without them, the bridges don't bridge, the trains don't run, the planes don't land, right? Exactly. Without them, I mean, and oftentimes they can be the silent types that steal in the structure, You know,
it's true, and it's like the job of leaders to celebrate them because they get undersell. Like, if I come up with an idea, that's the first 10%, inspiration. Then perspiration is the last 90%. And people, when I talk, people look at this all the time. They look at entrepreneurs like we know this in the organizations. They go, look at that guy who invented something. It's like, yeah, but you know how many people helped implement that and bring it about?
Right.
And yet we pay attention sometimes. Like the offensive linemen in football don't get very much attention, but the quarterbacks the good ones know. It's like, if these guys didn't block for me, I'd be terrible.
And in the sport, there's a reason those guys get paid so much. You know what I mean? Because they know.
Right.
And I see the tension between the wonder invention people and the enablement person, because almost like, if you remember the show The Office, you had the kind of the crazy leader, Michael Scott, and then you had the HR guy. And the HR guy, Toby, he just hated him because Michael wanted to run an office based on fun, and Toby wants to run an office based on rules. Great. And here you have the inventor, the wonder person, loves the ideas, gets renewed by ideas, invents, creates, solves the problem, and the enabler is slowing things down to go, okay, but how does this work, and how do we do this, and how do we join the dots, and how does like all the details that have to get executed in there. So there is that healthy tension that needs to exist.
And, and it was funny on that show, it was so dark that he hated him so much. And that guy was the only thing that probably kept Michael out of jail.
Right.
And he hated him. Yeah. But the truth is, those first two things, wonder and invention, are what we call ideation.
Yes.
That's when, like, hey, good ideas. But enablement and tenacity, the next one we're going to talk about, are implementation.
Mm-hmm.
And you need them both, but the key is in the middle, the D and the G, the discernment and galvanizing, or what's called the activation. We had a guy from Nike take this right when it came out, and he said, oh my gosh, he was an innovator at Nike. He said, we struggle because we go from ideation to implementation. So the idea people will throw an idea over the wall and say, this is great. And the implementers will go, this isn't great. We don't even know what to do with this.
Right.
And they realized they weren't doing enough discernment and galvanizing, which was evaluating the idea, tweaking it, and then getting people on board. So it goes ideation, activation, and then implementation. And enablement people, they are the first people to start the implementation process.